Hola, hello, how are you again? So in this video, we're going to see again the rest of the subjunctive that we see the other time, but we had to divide this in 3 parts because if not, it was too long. So let's start. I'm drinking here my yerba mate, you see. It's Argentine drink. This one tastes like iced tea. This kind of in the United States they sell it. It's not a real yerba mate from Argentina, but it's like an iced tea in the US. So what we're gonna do right now, okay, I'm gonna explain to you the rest of the subjunctive with the temporal connectors, okay? So and in this case, we saw that, you see, sorry, they just pop up. So the last thing that we saw, remember, is what was the difference between these sentences, remember? ¿Cuál es la diferencia entre estas oraciones? And you had to, for homework, what you had to do is write an example of each situation and then correct it with your teacher or your language partner. So now I'm gonna continue, okay? So nexos condicionales. So, a pesar de que you have infinitive versus subjunctive, right? That's always kind of the confusing part. So, a pesar de que plus indicative or subjunctive preceded of determinantes. Okay, let's see what is a determinante. I always like to give an example because generally it's blah, blah, blah when they talk about the names with grammar. So, a pesar de tener pocos años, actúa con madurez. Okay, so always pay attention. A pesar de is always the what? You see, the structure that triggers the subjunctive or the indicative in this case. And then after that is indicative. You see, a pesar de tener pocos años, that's like a verb in infinitive, actúa con madurez. So, I'm present tense. Can you see that? Actúa con madurez. I don't know if you're reading the same there. So then, a pesar de sus pocos años, actúa con madurez. Okay, so again, is present simple and is a noun. So please write 2 examples of these ones. Okay, and then another one. In this case is por más, por mucho, por poco, por mucho, por poco, por pocas, más sustantivo, más que, más indicativo or subjuntivo. Let's see. This is kind of the formula, but that's what I like to break it down in examples. So, por más o por mucho que, for more than, or, and then it says, then I will translate it in English, but I say, por mucho más que busco, no encuentro al hombre de mi vida. So, first of all, por más que busco, present tense, is an indicative, no encuentro, present tense, al hombre de mi vida. So, no subjunctive for now. But basically what he's saying, for more than I search, I don't find the love of my life. Okay, then por más, again, right? Por más vueltas que le doy al asunto, no encuentro una solución adecuada. So for more, I guess this is hard to translate, but for more than I turn around this matter, like when you are thinking about a matter, it's like, it says like it turns, spins in your head. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So I don't find the adequate solution. So that's present tense again, por mucho vueltas, noun, and then I don't find solution is present tense indicative. Now, let's start to see that you'll see that it's subjunctive. Por poco que haga uno siempre es de gran ayuda. Por poco means by a little that one does, and is always from I don't know. It's trying to say it's always gives big help. Basically, what it's trying to say is really hard because it doesn't exist a exact translation between subjunctive and English, because it's in English doesn't exist the subjunctive. But basically, what it's trying to say is kind of trying to be neutral in this case. So for less that one does, okay, is always a big help. So even if for little we do, even if it's a little, it still helps a lot. That's basically what I was trying to say. So in this case, guys, por poco que goes with subjunctive. You see, por poco que. Let's see that one. Por más or por mucho que se lo expliques, present subjunctive, no lo va a entender. Es bastante torpe. So basically means for more than I explain him, you're not going to understand it. He's not going to understand it. He's very clumsy. You see, for more than, so por mucho que lo, or por mucho que, or por más que. So you're going to be wondering, okay, but why in the first case we were using indicative and now we're using subjunctive? Like it doesn't make any sense. So true, but that's what I'm going to notice. What is the difference between them? In the first one, when it says por más de que busco, no encuentro al hombre de mi vida, it means that for more than I search, I don't find the love of my life. She's talking about a fact. For more than I search, because she's searching right now, it's a fact, she's searching whatever for the love of her life, she doesn't find it. That's a fact and that's a statement. So that's why in this case, por mucho que is indicative. But if you say, por mucho que me lo expliques, which is subjunctive, por mucho que se lo expliques, no lo va a entender. So for more than you explaining it to him, he's not going to understand. He's very clumsy. Basically saying, even if you explain it, he's not going to understand it. So in the other one, what we talk about was a fact. In this one, actually is assuming something about someone else, but it's not really a fact. So that's why it's subjunctive. Por mucho que se lo expliques, even if you explain it to him, but you're not explaining anything, right? So you didn't even try to explain in order to see if he understands. So basically, he's trying to say, and you didn't even do it. So that's why it's not a fact. It's just an assumption, okay? That's what is subjunctive. You have to always think that indicative is more factual and the subjunctive is more like in the clouds, like it's like guessing or expressing a probability, okay? So let's go to the next one. So tanto si, okay, is another one. Tanto si indicative or imperfect subjunctive, so preterite subjunctive, or como si indicative or imperfect subjunctive. So imperfect subjunctive basically what they call in the books, but it's basically preterite subjunctive, okay? So, por ejemplo, tanto si llueve como si hay sol, vamos a pescar. That means even if it rains or if there is sun, we're going to fish. It's a fact. That's why it's indicative, right? Even if it rains or there's sun, we're going. That's a fact, okay? Now, if you say, como si estuviera soltero, como si no lo estuviera, no me casaría con él. Es insoportable. Meaning, as if I were single or as if I were married, I will never marry him. He's unbearable. So basically, you are not assuming that you are single, or you're not assuming that you're married, but you're just saying, and again, you're saying an assumption, like you are like just not stating a fact. It's like, you see, if I say, if I were young, meaning that's not a fact, you're just making like a wish, like you were young. So it's the same thing. This is an assumption that as if I were single, you don't know if I am or not, or if I'm not, you're not, you don't know. So that's why it's subjunctive and not indicative, okay? Again, guys, you're gonna learn this more about listening to the shows that we give out to our students, like to access for free. Listening and also speaking is going to help you to really use this or really start using automatically, I guess. But it's nice to know it, because I did that in English when they give me stuff. In high school, I never understood it or anything, and I was not speaking it, but at least I feel like I got a base. So whenever I listen to it, then I'm more familiarized. You know what I mean? So I think that's very important to also learn the grammar and the structures. Okay, so basically then the ones that are not very common are incluso si plus indicative plus or preterite subjunctive. For example, you know, I like examples for this. So, incluso si se divorciara, even if she get divorced, ella va a salir adelante. Es muy valiente. She's gonna move forward. She's very brave. You see, even if she will get divorced, but she's not divorced. So we're doing again what is an assumption, like we don't know, so subjunctive. So please write a sentence of each of these ones, and you can comment it in YouTube, or you can also send it to your teacher, to your language partner, and write these sentences and try to see if they're correct. It's the only way to learn, right? With practice. So we have one more, I promise, because those classes was very long, was like in 3 classes, in 3 videos, 1 class. So let's see this one. Yes, okay, plus indicative. Okay, and I'll teach you now what it means, this yes, okay. Se mudó a Chicago. Y eso que no le gusta el frío. So meaning he moved to Chicago and it's okay, how I could say this. He moved to Chicago, and even though, I would say, even though he doesn't like the cold. So, yes, okay. It's like, even though. Y eso que no le gusta. So, after, y eso que, you see, se mudó a Chicago, y eso que no le gusta el frío. Eso que plus indicative, what does it mean? Why is present tense? Doesn't like the cold. It's present tense because it's a fact. It's part of the indicative, so it's a fact. So let's see. Mira cómo baila la abuela. Look how grandma dances. Y eso que le duelen todos los huesos. And even though all the bones hurt. So the bones hurt her. So that's a fact. That's why. And y eso que le duelen. So a ella le duele, a él le duele, so it's still indicative, okay? The use of gustar, but it's in the use of indicative, it's not subjunctive. Now, aún plus gerund equivale a incluso si, even if. So, aún más gerund is like the ing, it means like even if. So, él le cobró más dinero a María, aún sabiendo que ella perdió el trabajo. Meaning, she charged her more money, even though he knew she lost her job, you see? So, él aún, meaning, aún sabiendo is even if, aún sabiendo, even if, aún knowing, even know, it's like saying, even knowing that she lost her job. So, aún sabiendo, okay? So, that's another very good tip for this connection. So, now, guys, these are all practices this one is starting commenting more formally. This is why we are talking about more formal, I guess, topics. So, for example, the earthquake in the United States, or in this case, sorry, it's not about an earthquake, I read it wrong. It's about the remote work after COVID that is going, it says it's gonna come back, and it says experience a raise of 125%, the use of remote work. So now, you see, it's telling what are the advantages or disadvantages, it's showing what it could do to, and then we comment on it, on this. So we say, we use these structures, and then you use the subjunctive. So, por ejemplo, en los Estados Unidos se experimentó un aumento de 125% en el uso del trabajo remoto. Aunque muchas personas están regresando al lugar de trabajo, los ejecutivos analizan modelos híbridos para algunos empleados. So, por ejemplo, excepto que tengan, right, because it's a fact, it's still happening. Entonces, excepto que tengan un buen sistema y procesos, puede ser que funcione you see, excepto que tengan, puede que funcione. You see how I'm using all subjunctives. Puede que funcione el sistema online. Y tiene que haber mucha, muy buena comunicación. You see, that's like a real, more formal, like honest discussion. So please have all these topics and practice with your language partner or your teacher. Thank you so much again for watching my video, and I hope this class was useful, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.